Adam, a game of football that had every possible emotion in it. What's your thoughts on the game?
It's a tough game again, obviously. Just different circumstances, you know, to play against 10 men for that long is quite unusual. You know, obviously they, you know, sat in, which, you know, you would do. And again, that's a different way for us to have to play, you know, because you've got to be patient, you've got to move the ball quick, and you've got to probe. And you know, I think we were a little bit guilty of maybe putting it in there a bit too soon at times, and they defended incredibly well. But I think we had enough chances to have won. But look, you know, I think the lads kept going, and it's another point, 10 unbeaten, keeps us in the mix. And just pleased really with the effort of the players just for keeping going till the end. You know, Ryan Hall obviously scoring. I think it's his first of the season, and you know what an important time it could be to get it. I think it's fair to say they started the game better than us. Disappointed with both of their goals really. I mean, the first one, with Jimmy's gone through and tried to, you know, lift it over the keeper. The keeper's, you know, played it quickly, and they've got him behind us and scored. We then responded really quickly and obviously won a penalty, which Pearson converted. But then to go and concede and give away the penalty like we did, you know, we had the ball and we got caught in possession in the middle of the pitch unnecessarily. A bit panicky really, how we're defending then. You know, it was a penalty, conceded that, and then obviously you're up against it. So you know, just good character. You know, it's another late goal that we've scored. But I can't fault the lads. I thought we looked tired there that second half, and you know, they've obviously not played in the week. We've had 2 long trips up to the northeast, and I think maybe that showed a little bit. You know, it might have been a much more difficult game had it stayed 11v11, but you know, credit to the lads for just keeping going and just having a sheer determination really not to lose a game of football. And as I say, you know, it could be a big point.
Well, they did have the 10-man advantage, 55 minutes of game time, at least without stoppage, to have that 10-man advantage. What do you think was the thing that was missing the most? Obviously, you mentioned there about a little bit of putting balls in a little bit earlier too soon and sitting back quite deep from the word go as soon as the red was shown, really. What do you think was the real key element that was missing today to punish that lengthy man advantage?
Well, it's hard. It's not easy. You know, to break a team down when they sit in so deep and get so many men behind the ball, and obviously in addition to that, you've got the keeper taking forever and a day to get the game going. The referee just, you know, not doing anywhere near enough, in my opinion, to get the goalkeeper speeding the game up. He's more interested in drones than, you know, letting the game go, but that's another story. But that doesn't help, you know, because you're trying to get a rhythm and you're trying to get a flow to your game, and it's forever being broken up, and that's frustrating, but it's then difficult. So, you know, it's just about keep moving the ball and keeping the pitch big. And, you know, I think sometimes we were guilty of putting the ball in the box a bit too soon, you know, when we could have maybe built. You look at the goal we scored, and Boyle had a great chance, just making a couple of extra passes and working it into feet in and around the area, you know, and getting players, runners off the strikers. But you know, we tried, you know, different things. You know, we have Will out wide and Pearson out wide to try and, you know, keep the pitch stretched, and then we put Pearson on the other side to get him narrow and a bit closer to Jimmy, and obviously Ryan's pacing behind, and you know, then Jordan to put balls in the box, which he does with great quality, and then George up there, you know, because he's another presence and it might have freed Jimmy up. You know, we tried all sorts to just try and give them something different to contend with, and in the end, you know, luckily one's fallen for us, and Ryan's managed to stroke it home. So, but I think we, you know, we did create at least a couple of other really good opportunities. And on another day we could have won, but to come from behind twice in this league and get a result, it's not an easy thing to do.
You mentioned Ryan Hall there, obviously the scorer, as well as Will Hayhurst. Ryan Hall was kept on the bench with Finn Armstrong being brought into the team. We'll touch on the reason why Finn's into the team in a moment. But what was the thinking of keeping Ryan on the bench and letting Will push up further forward, as opposed to keeping Will left wing back, letting Ryan Hall start on the left wing, considering his cameo on Tuesday night?
Yeah, it's a valid point, and probably they were the two obvious choices for us today. We just felt that, you know, with the way they play, quite narrow in midfield, that we'd have a lot of space in the wide areas, particularly at wing back. And you know, Finn, he's got fantastic range of pace when he gets moving, and we felt if we could work it out to him and get 2v1s against their right back, that could be a route in for us. And the disappointment really for us in the first half was that we only really did that 2 or 3 times, and the times we did, he got you know, past the right back, who then got sent off, and then he got past, you know, the lad who went in there. He put a couple of great balls across the box. I think there's one that Jimmy and Pearsy were close to in the first half. They didn't quite manage to get on the end of. And obviously, you know, Willie, you know, he scored 2 goals on Tuesday and won us that game with 2 massive moments. And you know, sometimes when players have, you know, they get a couple of goals, you know, they keep coming. You know, plus we obviously know that Ryan, he is a threat, but he's made such a terrific impact for us in the last couple of games off the bench. Sometimes that impact's not the same when somebody starts a game. So there were a lot of, you know, kind of considerations in going with the, you know, the selections that we went with. But you know, in the end we managed to get a result.
Well, let's talk now about what's prompted some of those selections. Obviously, no Hayden Campbell taking part in any regard in the squad today. He left Blackwell Meadows pretty beat up after taking 2 hefty challenges onto his right foot. Well, what's the status on him?
He had a scan yesterday, and we'll hopefully get the results on Monday. So until they come back, we don't really know, to be honest.
Well, like you said at the start of the interview, despite leaving the goal and the equaliser late, it is now double digits, 10 unbeaten. What does this do for you guys heading into the Fylde encounter on Tuesday night?
Well, it obviously keeps that unbeaten run going. I mean, listen, to go 10 unbeaten in this league is no mean feat. You know, let's have it right. You know, these lads deserve a tremendous amount of credit for the form that we've been in. And I think we won 4 or 5 in a row before we started this run. You know, we had 2 or 3 defeats in a row, but the run before that was good as well. So over a prolonged period of time, these boys have been putting in a phenomenal effort, and that's why we're still in the mix. You know, so just massive credit really to the players, you know, because I think they've been astounding really, and you know, the amount of character and spirit that we've showed to score late today, you know, late at Blythe to nick a point, late at Scarborough to get 3 points. You know, they just keep going and they don't give up, and that's what gives us all optimism going into the last couple of games. I mean, you know, in pre-season we had our own behind closed doors ambitions of, can we be in the mix for the playoffs? We 10 games to go, and now we've got 2 games to go, and we're still right in the thick of it. So obviously Tuesday's a game in hand, you know, for both us and for Fylde, and you know, both clubs know the benefits to winning that game. So it's going to be a massive game, but one in which there's no pressure on us at all. I know I keep saying that, but it's the truth. I mean, you know, all the pressure on Tuesday will be on Fylde. You know, they should be where they are, if not higher, and you know, 1 spot higher first. So, you know, it's obviously a game that they'll be coming here looking to win, and they're a good side. They've got a lot of good players, but we've got a decent record against them. You know, I know I personally have in the last couple of years. We were poor when we went to their place earlier on in the season, and we got beat. You know, it should have been more, in truth. We were off it, but we won't be off it on Tuesday. We'll be fully recovered and chomping at the bit, ready to go again. So yeah, but I suppose, you know, to conclude really, we could lose on Tuesday and still go into the final game of the season in the mix. So, you know, there's absolutely no pressure on us on Tuesday. It's just a game we've got to embrace now, and I'm sure that these players will do.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, Adam.
Cheers.